They laughed, they pointed, they whispered behind your back. "He's done," they said, "it's over." And you know what? They were partially right, because the version of you they knew is done. That weak, soft, confused, indecisive man is buried. Finished, that man who once let life slap him around without punching back. He's history, but they made the mistake of thinking your failure was your final form. That's their first mistake, their second mistake. Forgetting that a real man never stays down. You see, the comeback isn't for everybody. It's reserved for the rare few, the ones who refuse to die quietly, the ones who treat rock bottom like a launching pad. When life humbles you, you either break or you build. You either whine about it like the rest of the weak world, or you use it to become something terrifying, disciplined, focused, and utterly unstoppable. That's where you are right now, that moment of silence before the storm, that pause between chapters. This is the origin story of your comeback. Most people don't understand pain. They've been shielded their entire lives. Soft parents, soft environments, soft choices. They don't know what it's like to wake up and feel the weight of failure sitting on your chest like a boulder. They don't know what it feels like to lose respect, money, strength, status. But you do. You've tasted loss, and that taste either breaks a man or awakens a beast. So if you're feeling it, if you're waking up with shame, regret, anger, good, you're still alive, you're still in the fight. That means there's still time. Don't romanticize rock bottom, but don't run from it either. Embrace it, own it. This is your pressure chamber. This is where the weak get filtered out and the strong get forged. Because comfort never created kings, pressure did, heat did, rejection did. When you're comfortable, you get lazy. When you're praised, you get soft. But when you're doubted, when you're abandoned, when the whole world says he's not coming back, that's when something primal ignites in the ones who refuse to lose. And here's the truth no one wants to say out loud. Nobody's coming to save you. There is no cavalry, no fairy tale redemption arc unless you write it. The world will keep spinning whether you get up or stay down, but the ones who rise, they change everything, not just for themselves, but for generations. Your comeback isn't just about proving others wrong. It's about proving to yourself that you were always built for more. The world teaches you to chase approval, likes, validation. That's how they keep you small. You post for applause, you move to impress. And in the process, you forget how to move with purpose. So let this be the moment where you stop seeking permission. You don't need anyone to clap for you. You need to build in silence, in the shadows, with your head down and your standards raised. When you return, they'll see it, they'll feel it, and they won't be able to ignore it. But understand this, the comeback isn't just physical, it's mental, it's spiritual, it's emotional. You have to declare war on every voice in your head that says you're not enough. Every whisper that tries to remind you of your failures. You have to dominate your inner world before you can conquer the outer one. That means discipline over feelings. That means commitment over mood. You don't rise because you feel like it. You rise because you said you would. Start small if you must. Get up earlier, eat clean, train harder, read more, cut the time. Wasting dopamine-chasing trash. Ditch the porn, the video games, the binge watching. You don't need more distractions. You need direction. You need obsession. People call that extreme good. Mediocrity is always offended by focus. Let them be uncomfortable. Let them talk. While they waste time talking, you'll be executing. You don't become powerful by accident. It's deliberate. It's painful. It's lonely. Most people want the crown but can't handle the weight. They want the money but won't take the risk. They want the body but can't endure the discipline. They want the respect but never paid the price. That's not you anymore. You've seen what it costs to lose. You know what it feels like to be overlooked. And that fire, that pain, that's fuel. Use it. Because the truth is, your comeback is going to make some people uncomfortable. People who knew you before will resent who you're becoming. They'll try to pull you back into the dirt because that's where they feel safe, but you've outgrown that soil. You've outgrown excuses, soft routines, and meaningless days. Now you build differently. You think differently. You walk like a man who has something to prove, not to the world, but to the man staring back in the mirror. Reinvention isn't optional anymore, it's survival. You either evolve or you evaporate. In 2025, average will be punished. There's no room for indecision, no time for half-hearted attempts. Every day you don't dominate is a day someone else does. Every hour you waste is a brick removed from the empire you were supposed to build. So stop asking for clarity, stop waiting for motivation. It's action that creates clarity, it's movement that creates power. The comeback begins the moment you stop negotiating with your weakness, you stop giving airtime to fear. You stop pretending the old habits serve you. You kill comfort with consistency. You trade laziness for legacy. And when you do that, you enter a zone that 99% of people will never taste. Unstoppable momentum. And that's the most dangerous version of a man, when he's no longer moved by doubt, no longer distracted by drama, and no longer dependent on motivation. A man like that is lethal. He becomes his own engine, his own standard, his own storm. That's who you are becoming. It doesn't matter what you've lost. Money, time, trust, opportunity. That's behind you. The only thing that matters now is what you're building. You don't dwell. You dominate. You don't reminisce. You rise, your focus is forward, your commitment is unshakable, your resilience is legendary. They don't see it yet, but they will, because when the comeback is complete, there will be no debates, no arguments, no questions, just results, and those results will speak louder than every insult, every betrayal, every moment of pain. Those results will remind the world, and more importantly, remind you, that greatness wasn't some fantasy. It was forged in fire, earned in silence, and built by the man who refused to stay down. They didn't expect you to rise again. They thought the silence meant surrender. But what they didn't know is that while they were watching for signs of life, you were rebuilding in the dark. They forgot the most powerful transformations happen quietly, while the world sleeps. And now the man they buried is gone. In his place is something forged, not born, tempered, not just taught. They won't understand how you did it because they never would have had the discipline to suffer in silence. This second phase of the comeback is about execution. The time for talking is over. The promises, the plans, the hype, that's done. Now it's results. Tangible, ruthless, undeniable results. The gym becomes your cathedral. The business becomes your battlefield. Your routine becomes your religion. There's no compromise now. You live like the mission matters because it does. Every day is either progress or delay. Every action is either power or passivity. And you know what both feel like now. You know the pain of drifting, of waking up with regret, of looking in the mirror and seeing potential wasted. That's not you anymore. Now you're stacking wins. They might be small. A better workout, a smarter deal, a sharper decision. But they stack. And over time, you begin to move with a momentum that others can feel. They notice something's different, but they can't put their finger on it. It's presence. It's precision. It's that lethal clarity that comes from a man who has burned the bridges behind him. You're not going back. You're not entertaining mediocrity. You've seen the abyss and you climbed out, and now every step forward is personal. And make no mistake, the temptations will come. Distractions will try to lure you back. The soft life will whisper your name, the old friends, the lazy habits, the seductive lies that once made you weak. They'll return, but this time you recognize them for what they are, traps. You're no longer a man trying to escape failure. You're a man too dangerous to fail. That shift is everything. When your identity aligns with the mission, everything else becomes noise. You don't chase pleasure, you pursue purpose. You don't fear the grind. You live in it. And here's the most powerful part of the comeback. It's not just about you anymore. At first, maybe it was. Maybe you wanted revenge. Maybe you wanted to prove them wrong. Maybe you were fueled by anger, by embarrassment, by shame. But now something deeper has taken over. Legacy, leadership, responsibility. You realize there are eyes watching you now. Younger ones, struggling ones, silent warriors trying to find their way, and your rise becomes their permission. Your comeback becomes their blueprint. You don't preach, you show. You show what it looks like to rebuild a life brick by brick. You show what it means to face demons and not flinch. You show what happens when a man reclaims his time, his power, his mind. And the people who once pitied you, they start to study you. The ones who laughed, they go quiet. Not because they understand, but because they're intimidated by what you've become. That's the price of rising. Isolation, misunderstanding, but that's fine. You didn't come to be liked. You came to win. You came to dominate. You came to carve out a future that wasn't handed to you. That's real power. Not what the world gives you, but what you take when no one is watching. And when you get there, when the money flows, when the body is sculpted, when the mind is sharp, you don't relax. You double down, you stay dangerous, you stay uncommon, because now you know how fast it can all be taken. You know how easy it is to slip when the standards drop. So you keep your edge. You keep the hunger, not because you're afraid to fall, but because you respect the climb. You don't forget the nights you almost quit. You don't erase the pain, you wear it like armor. And when people ask how you did it, you don't tell them about luck. You tell them about discipline, about sacrifice, about the mornings you didn't want to get up, but did anyway. The comeback isn't about applause, it's about impact. It's about walking into every room with a presence that says, I've been through hell and kept walking. I've lost everything and rebuilt with nothing but grit. That kind of man is rare, that kind of man is unstoppable, and that kind of man you has one job left: never go back, never shrink, never apologize for your strength, your focus, your ambition, because the world doesn't need more agreeable men. It needs fire, it needs force, it needs the comeback. This isn't just a comeback, it's a resurrection. You didn't return to be the man you were. You returned to become the man you were meant to be, stronger, sharper, hungrier, a man who doesn't beg for respect, he commands it, a man who doesn't chase comfort, he hunts purpose. You're no longer part of the crowd that talks, you're part of the rare breed that acts. Let them wonder, let them talk, let them stay comfortable while you build your empire, brick by disciplined brick. You've already proven what kind of man you are, one who refused to die, one who refused to quit, one who took pain, betrayal, and loss, and turned it into power. The comeback wasn't the goal, it was the beginning. Now it's time to conquer.